Sorry if I'm a little bit annoyed. I just had to film this video again because my footage corrupted. And so if you're a YouTuber, you know like the fucking feel, like how annoying that is. But anyway, I do this because I love making content, and that's why I'm fine doing it again. Right after, haven't had to take any breaks, I'm willing to just record this shit again. So I was like really proud of it the first time I filmed it. But here we have it, the full lucid dreaming guide for beginners and intermediate. It's for beginners because, you know, unlike most lucid dreaming people, I've never been a lucid dreamer. Like a lot of like teachers of like lucid dreaming will be talking about, I was like lucid dreaming when I was a kid, and then it became like easy from there, and then they feel like they can teach it, but like I feel like it would be a lot easier if you learn from me. Like if you're like working out, you don't want to learn from like some like old body, like fit like old dude who does like like the new like shit nowadays, right? You want to learn from someone like me who has had to get into lucid dreaming nowadays. You know what I mean? Also, sorry for like the mess behind me. I'm still moving in, but anyway. Without further ado, let's get into it. Motivation. So the meaningless want for results is outdated, bro. Like, just like, oh, I want to do this thing because of just for the sake of it. It's so outdated, bro. I'm just gonna work out because it's a disciplined habit. I'm just gonna lucid dream because it's a disciplined habit. Like, it's so like, hustle culture grind set. It's so outdated nowadays. Everyone knows that being happy while being motivated and happy doing the thing that like the actual work task is so much better than just doing the thing because of the sake of discipline. You know what I mean? And so a couple of questions. Why do you want to lucid dream? Why you want to lucid dream? Answer the question, bro. Why you want to lucid dream? There has to be a reason. There can't be no reason. And in the next slide, I'll talk about a bunch of reasons why you would want to lucid dream. I've made a couple of videos talking about like the tangible and like the entertainment reasons of like why you want to lucid dream and shit like that. You can find it on my channel. It's pretty recent. These are like the first step of any of these anything in life. It is a lot harder to do at the beginning, but then gets way easier time wise afterwards. If you want to build a lot of muscle, basically building the muscle takes a lot of time and effort. But then maintaining the muscle is pretty easy. Same thing with lucid dreaming, basically, right? And then also, are you willing to fail countless times? Again, answer the question. Are you willing to fail? You know what I mean? Lucid dreaming is sort of like you're locked in a room and you can't get out of that room unless you complete a test. But every time you fail the test, you don't get your results back. So you don't know what you're actually missing out on. That's what lucid dreaming feels like. It feels like you don't know what the subject is. You're giving a test. You complete the test. You don't get out, but you also don't get your results back to see like what you need to work on. It takes a lot of time, and you need to be willing to fail countless and countless times, bro. Like I got my first lucid dream as a beginner in like 3 or 4 months of trying, and I wasn't really doing anything else. By the way, I was just living my life and trying to lucid dream. Didn't have any like big things like I had to do. I wasn't like in school at the time, and so I was just grinding at lucid dreaming, and it still took a lot of time. Bro, there'll be people on Reddit threads being like, "Oh, I got my first lucid dream like tonight." Basically, like any of the YouTubers that are saying, "Oh yeah, just get a lucid dream the first night." Again, it is possible. You may be built for it. But at the same time, like majority of people don't get lucid dreaming, so the likelihood that you're a lucid dreamer is probably very low. So just be humble. Just be like, all right, I didn't lucid dream tonight. I'm happy with it. I'm gonna continue doing it. All right. So some ideas for motivation. Firstly, the reason that I want to do lucid dreaming was to get my time back. I've talked about this in a video talking about, oh yeah, technically like if you doubled your life, but you were unconscious for the whole time, that wouldn't be worth it because consciousness is more important than the actual hours of life. Life doesn't mean anything if you're not conscious for it, right? And so if you're, so I thought spending time in bed unconscious is productive. And if you can train yourself to be conscious, you may as well, you know what I mean? Like if you can do this one thing that you can then keep on with the rest of your life, you may as well just do it, bro. And that's why I consider it self-improvement. But anyway, while I've made videos talking about how lucid dreaming can be productive to real life, if you want to admit that it's just for entertainment, that's good enough motivation, bro. Like, if you just want to be like, oh yeah, I put my hands up, I just want to lucid dream because I want entertainment, nothing else. Sure, go ahead. That's good enough motivation. It's specifically the people that I don't want to come here, are the people that would be like, oh, I'm just doing it because it's a disciplined habit. It's mind mastery, and yeah, they're technically right. Like, yeah, it's very hard. It is, mastering your fucking mind and being conscious for when you sleep, bro. That's insane, right? Just doing it because of oh, I'm just doing it for the sake of doing it. Like that's shitty ass motivation, and so basically, bro, like honestly, the same type of person that says, "Oh, I just want to work out to get girls. I just want to lose a dream to fuck bitches." If you just said that, bro, honestly, that motivation is good enough. However, the last thing you need to know is that your motivation must reflect the level of effort you're putting in, aka is the juice worth the squeeze. So if you're putting in all this effort and then you get a result and you're kind of like not happy with that result, with all the effort you put in, it's kind of like, what was all that effort worth for? You know what I mean? It's like, imagine you had to work 10 times as harder to get less muscle. You know what I mean? It just wouldn't be worth it at that point. You may as well spend all the time living a fucking life. You know what I mean? Lucid dreaming should be an addition to your life, not this extra burden, not like this extra part of your life that you had to spend a lot of time and effort on. It should be this habit you build up, you get good at, and then you can just live out your life normally at the beginning anyway. So anyway, chapter 1, remembering dreams by journaling. So you're actually having several dreams per night, whether you remember or not. This is true. You're having maybe like 6+ dreams per night, and this happens because of the REM sleep. And you basically, the reason that you have several dreams per night is because the REM sleep cycles are broken up. I'll talk about this later. Yeah, so while dream journaling isn't something you have to do forever, it's definitely something you should do to see how your mind remembers things that seem impossible. So, bro, like if you do dream journaling, right, and you're writing down your dreams and shit like that, and then you get better at remembering your dreams, bro. It's gonna be like crazy, like insight for you to be like, wow, like you actually can just remember your dreams. You know what I mean? Like my sister remembers dreams so vividly, and I was like, what the heck? How do you remember all these dreams? And she's like, oh yeah, I just remember them. But me, like I'm such a deep sleeper that I would just sleep and wake up. Like like you know when like you sleep in Minecraft and you just like click the bed and you just like wake up. That's what sleeping to me feels like. You know what I mean? However, I've done dream journaling before, and if you do it, you'll just like remember more and more. It's actually insane. This is how it works, kind of like an example. If you left your wallet on the table and you forgot to take it when you leave, you would have higher chances of remembering to take it next time if you were to write it down. And this is because the more importance you put onto something, more importance you put onto remembering something, the easier it is to remember. So effort is the thing that is going to make you remember. If you, like, again, we all know this to like a vague degree. If you're trying to like study for a test, reading the book is going to be less effort than, writing down along with the book as well, you know what I mean? And like testing yourself. And basically, the more effort you put into something, the more your brain is like, oh yeah, this require a lot more effort to remember. We're going to remember this a lot more. Also like the repetition and shit like that. But anyway, that's why we're here. That's why remembering the plot of a book is much easier than remembering the past 10 reels you watched. Can you remember the last 10 reels you watched? I don't watch like short form content, haven't in fucking ages. But like, you probably couldn't remember the last 10 reels you watched. I can remember the last book I read easily, in detail. I'll be making a video on it. Stick around for that. But anyway, how to dream journal. Get something to write in. I recommend a book and not a phone, because being forced to write by hand involves more effort and therefore allows your brain to put more importance in remembering. So yeah, a lot of people will be like, oh, like just use your phone and like, write, like type on your phone. Just like use like the voice memo thing, like the fucking, like you speak into it and it basically like transcribe, like the AI like thing, like transcribe like what you're saying into your phone. Yeah, don't do that. Unless like you're in a hurry and you definitely can't write it down, dude, just write it down. get good at writing again, bro. Like, you know, you basically only write when you're in school, really. But just like, yeah, just write for the sake of writing. If you write, it's gonna be way more effort, and therefore your brain's gonna remember to put importance on remembering your dreams, and therefore you're gonna remember more dreams. So the first night, you may not remember anything. So in your journal, write something like, I slept last night, but couldn't remember any dreams. So even if you don't remember any dreams at all, write down something. Write down, I slept last night and I couldn't remember dreams. You know, just write down anything about like you don't remember dreams, because this will then put importance on your brain to then remember another dream. You know what I mean? So you'll notice more dreams when you wake up over the days. So the more and more you do this, the more and more dreams, the more and more frequent you will remember dreams as well. Work your way up to remembering 6+ dreams per night. So this is your goal. This is the end goal here, is to remember 6+ dreams per night. Do this, and then, yeah, eventually your brain will always put importance on remembering these dreams. So don't just do the 6+ dreams and then be like, okay, I'm done. Make it so that you're remembering 6+ dreams consistently. And that's when I'll give you a break. That's when you can, you know, just like the muscle, you can maintain it by maybe just doing it once per week. Because eventually, like, if you ever fall off, just start dream journaling again. It should be easier and much faster if you dream journaled in the past. So yeah, the first like slog, like the grind of lucid dream in dream journaling is pretty hard. But then eventually, if you just keep on like maintenance, maintaining it, you'll be like pretty easy and pretty good to do. However, a lot of people just like stick to dream journaling because they just like the writing, they like dream journaling, and shit like that. So like, bro, if you just like dream journaling, just stick to it. But anyway, chapter 2, the wake back to bed. Waking up after the so this is the description of it. Waking up after a deep sleep cycle and perform another lucid dream technique with higher chances of getting a lucid dream. Setting intention. Is how you do it, setting intention or setting up alarm 3 to 4 to 6 hours after you initially sleep. And so this is a diagram of the sleep cycles. And so no, sleeping isn't just being awake, being asleep. You actually have different like phases, different like deep sleep patterns. And so if you don't know how to read it, this part here is actually the deepest sleep, while REM sleep is actually up here. And now you may be thinking, also REM sleep is actually like not as deep. Sleep isn't like a bad thing. No, everyone is like this. And most people, I mean, it's not like exactly like this. Everyone's a bit different. You see here like a brief awakening. That's a pretty good point to do your awake back to bed, because let's say I woke you up in a deep sleep, bro, you would fucking like, if someone woke you up, you would either be like a fucking like zombie, like I can't do anything, or like you may just like fucking like, if I woke you up here, you may fucking just slap me in the face, like fucking jaw me, bro, because like it is like, this is like the worst part to wake up. But if you're here or you're here, you're basically, I mean, this is already awake. If you're here as well, like if you wake up during like a dream, you're pretty much already awake anyway. It's not too bad, and it will be like less of a hassle to get out of bed if you're like, unless like you're down here. Like the deeper down you go, the harder it is to be fine waking up. You know what I mean? All right. So I made a video talking about wake back to bed, and this is how you do it. So you can either try setting intention, which is your body's internal clock. And you've felt this before. If you set an alarm and you wake up before that alarm, that's your mind putting intention to wake up at that time. Sometimes, but this is like pretty inconsistent. So you can like, you know, grind out this specific task, or you can just set an alarm. I wouldn't do intention if you got like a time restraint, like, you know, school, work the next day, like, or like consistently. I would recommend you wake up 4 hours after you initially fall asleep, and then if you wake up and you remember a dream, so like you fall asleep for 4 hours, you wake up again, but you remember a dream, just set the alarm an hour earlier, because you want all the REM sleep cycles to be together, basically. You don't want to sleep through any REM sleep cycles, because you want all the time to be dreaming time, basically, right? And so this is why we grinded dream journaling. It's so we can accurately gauge when we have our REM sleep. That's it, really. Like, if you fall asleep 4 hours, I'm usually pretty good. Like I fall asleep, I wake up, I'm like, oh, I haven't dreamed of anything. That's pretty good. Maybe like one dream. But if like you're remembering a lot of dreams, even after like 4 or 6 hours, then they set the alarm earlier. It should be pretty good. All right, and then if you're a deep sleeper, try putting your alarm on the other side of the room, or go to the bathroom, just like drink a lot of water, then like you go to the bathroom to piss. And this will help you be more conscious before going to bed. Light sleepers don't really have to worry about this because they'll be conscious enough. But like if you're you're really hard to wake up, this might help. I personally will set an alarm and put like at the end of my bed, so I have to like somewhat get up, and then I remember to do my my method, my technique, and that's pretty good. Sorry, I'm so out of it. I hate how like I have to remake this video again. Like again, I don't like hate making the video, but it's just like I don't know. I feel like I'm missing something. But anyway, chapter 3, reality checking. So reality checking is an action you take. This isn't something that you do just by itself. I have done this before, but never be like, oh yeah, bro, I'm just going to like reality check and get a lucid dream. That's not how it works. You need to reality check. Yeah, so everyone does a reality check. All lucid dreamers basically, like I'm pretty sure all lucid dreaming people, they do reality checks. And it's either passive or active, which not many people talk about, which I'll talk about in the next slide. And it lets you tell whether or not you're currently lucid dreaming. However, the goal isn't to disprove reality being fake. It's to build a habit that follows you into your sleep. So let's say you're counting your fingers or something like that. The goal isn't to disprove, like, you count your fingers, oh, my finger's there, I disprove that this is a dream. No, it's more like you just do it for the sake of doing it, and then it follows you into your sleep, basically, and then hopefully you wake up in your dream. No matter what reality checking method you do, take a moment to look around and really take in reality, as this will help you build up the world in your dream. So yeah, no matter what dreaming technique you do, literally, like, if you're gonna check your hands, if you're gonna, like, do like the fucking anything, right? Look around, and then when you pair these two habits together in your dream, not only will you become lucid, but you also look around, and then your world will build itself. And so this is how you reality check. So there's many methods. These aren't all the methods, but there's active methods and passive methods. So we know what an active skill is. An active skill is something that you actively use, while a passive method is something that runs in the background. And so an active method is counting fingers. You count your fingers, make sure they're all there. You breathe with your nose closed. You do that. Try and breathe. You can always breathe when you're sleeping, so you should be pretty good. Like if you're unless you're choking in your sleep, you should be breathing even when your nose closed in the dream world. You can try pushing your fingers through your hands, and you can also do the passive methods, which I prefer a little bit more, but only my method because I'm fucking based like that. We have the all day awareness. All day awareness is sort of like an ego boost. People think that like, oh, I'm like this monk and I'm gonna like be like self-aware the whole day. No one can really do that. There's gravity reality check method. It's kind of like the same with all day awareness, but you constantly like feel the gravity within your body, and hopefully that like translates in your sleep. And this is my method that I always do. The manual breathing and blinking is like a method that I basically made, where basically, sorry to say, but now you're manually blinking and breathing. And basically, you will forget to manually blink and breathe. However, it's more passive. It's not like this fucking, like, oh, look at your hands now. Like, remember, I was talking about this in a different video, but I was like, bro, imagine, like, you're hanging out with your boys, or, like, you're on a date with a girl, right? And it's like, if you're looking at your hands, like, just, like, being fucking, like, reality checking, just, like, being fucking weird, compared to just, like, automatically just, like, manually blinking and breathing. That's like, bro, one of them is like you look fucking schizo. The other one is you pretend that you're not schizo. But anyway, this is way better, bro. Trust me. I prefer passive methods because it's just like less. But if you're just like by yourself, yeah, counting. Like I've done the counting fingers method. I've been lucid with the counting fingers method. It was not too bad. But the thing is, like, once you do it, it kind of just feels like you're over and done with. But like with these ones, like, manually blinking and breathing. I've been manually blinking and breathing. Sorry, the whole guide that we've been doing, right? And so that's why I highly recommend it, because it lasts longer. You know what I mean? Counting fingers, just like you spend 10 seconds just counting your fingers. While this one lasts most of the day, and whenever you fail, remembering, you don't like beat yourself down. You just be like, oh yeah. All right, we're going back to manually blinking and breathing now. And that has been really good because it's translated into my sleep and it's really helped me, right? So we have this couple of notes here. However, the most important thing is to make sure that you can do it all through the day and really put effort into it. Don't just do it and move on. Like I said, like the active methods, a lot of people just do it and just like, oh yeah, we're not in a dream. Don't just say that, because then you're gonna go in your lucid dream, do your reality check, and then just forget. And like, you're gonna be like, oh, this must be reality, and then it's like it's just shit. Don't do that ever. The next thing is really question the fabric of reality and ask, what would I do if I were in a lucid dream? Like, do both of those things. Be like, all right, like look around and be like, what would I be doing? Like, would I be floating right now? Maybe you can like, what would the feeling of flying be like if I was in a lucid dream right now? And this isn't a standalone lucid dreaming task, one that helps most people have a higher chance of recognizing they're dreaming. So yeah, this is like, everyone does this. This is just something that is like, not like entirely mandatory, but it's like, if this increases your chances, why not do it? You know what I mean? And the last chapter is your lucid technique. So your lucid dreaming technique is your bread and butter. It's the main method of getting lucid. While the other chapters help getting like your lucid dream, this will usually be the make or break of becoming lucid. It's all personalized. So my technique is not going to be your cup of tea. Probably. Maybe you're based and you also like my technique. But anyway, I've made a whole lucid dreaming techniques ranked video where I just rank a bunch of like, lucid dreaming techniques, and maybe you can watch that to get some like inspiration of like what your technique's gonna be. But no matter what, there are always two entryways of getting into a lucid dream: dialed and wild. Dream initiated lucid dreaming, add wake initiated lucid dreaming. People have a preference. I think more people and like more beginners do dialed. Wild is like a very like consciously effort and just like a very hard task to do. But either way, you don't have to decide. Just be like, all right, we're going to do both of them. Like I said, yeah, my opinion is trying everything, see which technique you like the most, and the one you'll stick with. Sorry, bro, my throat is dead because I've had to make this video twice now. But anyway, dream initiated lucid dreaming is when you're in a lucid, was when you're dreaming and so basically you're normal dreaming and you wake up, you become lucid within that dream. While wild is basically holding onto consciousness while you're falling asleep. This one's being described to be more like, you're falling back within your head, and then like you're kind of just like, you're awake the whole time when you're awake, and then you're falling into your sleep. It's kind of weird. Not many people do it as much as dialed. But again, just try all the techniques and see which one you like the most. The 2 times you fall asleep, so the first time you fall asleep and then you wake back to bed, just do the technique both times, because even though your first sleep doesn't contain all the dreams, all the deep sleep, we're trying to skip that. It's just important for practice, So don't just be like, oh, I'm only gonna do my my technique on my wake back to bed. Do it when you're falling asleep the first time as well. Just remind yourself, and it's also important for practice. For when you actually need to do like wake back to bed. Listen, it's just gonna be very hard at the beginning to just grind the slog, right? But like eventually you will become the person where this will become automatic to you, and then you don't have to keep on grinding this shit out. You can just move on to the next stage of your life. And so closing statements, just a couple of things I need to say to the people that have maybe tried before or continue trying, have never, especially people who have never had a lucid dream before. So I will admit, this was a little bit easier for me because when I was a kid, I had like 1 or 2 lucid dreams, and that's not a lot, but that like motivated me because I knew it was possible. However, I know that there's a lot of people who have never got a lucid dream before. Like I said, like my sister, I was like, she has never had a lucid dream before, surprisingly. And I was like talking to her like, it was like a universal experience. But she never had one. And it was only like when my other sister came in and she said that like, oh yeah, she had a lucid dream too. That's when like my other sister was like, oh yeah, so I believe it now. But it's like, yeah, I probably, like, if you've never had a lucid dream before, I probably sound like schizo as fuck. Keep these with you. The power of belief and expectation is powerful in this topic. So lucid dreaming, the most powerful thing is belief and expectations. It may take some time, or you may just be built for it. There will be people online being like, oh bro, I got my first lucid dream, like straight away. And for me, like I tried really hard. I only got it within 3 to 4 months. That's almost like a third to like a quarter of like the year. That's insane, bro. Like spending that much time just to get like one lucid dream, fucking horrible, horrible, right? Never doubt yourself. Just believe every day you're one sleep away from becoming lucid. So the most annoying thing about lucid dreaming is that it just takes so much time because every single it basically just feels like one chance every single night, and when you wake up and you haven't had a lucid dream, you feel like shit, right? So yeah, I'm just realizing now at this next point, most people quit just before they win. It sounds like a fucking gambling term, but like it really is just like that, bro. It really is like if I quit just 2 months in, or even like 3 months in, right, and I never go lucid dream, bro, I probably would have never become like this YouTube channel who makes like lucid dreaming content. And yeah, consistency beats effort. Always stay on the path and remember your motivation. Remember your motivation, bro. Just remember it. Be like, why am I doing this? And consistency, not the effort. So don't, like if you're trying everything, every single thing, all in one week compared to just doing like the bare minimum every single day for 3 months or even like a year straight, that will beat it. That will beat it more than effort. Again, like there are people who can just do reality checks and just become, lucid just from that. I mean, I wouldn't recommend it, but they can. And so yeah, remember your motivation, bro. What motivates you? Why do you want to lucid dream? Remember why, bro. If you want to wake up in a fantasy reality where you fight like goblins and shit like that, if you want to just like walk around like what I usually do, which is like walking around in my lucid dream, it's like, bro, that's pretty good motivation. I didn't the motivation was what for my motivation was just getting my time back from being asleep, you know what I mean, and being able to while everyone else is asleep in bed unconscious, I'm actually being productive while I'm sleeping, you know what I mean. And so yeah, never forget that. And so yeah, this is the full guide, bro. I made this whole thing, just my experiences. I hope you really enjoyed that. I've enjoyed it a little bit less than the first time I had to film this, but either way, like the video if you've liked the video. Subscribe if you want to stick around for more actual self improvement content. I know like I consider self improvement content, but it's like very niche. And not everyone would do this. Everyone will kind of like ignore this part of like my chapter or self improvement, because I'm gonna be talking about fitness and nutrition and mindset and shit like that. People probably more like a lot more views will come with that. However, it's like, I mean, it's like this shit is like, this is worth it, bro. And yeah, just keep this in mind. And if you want to subscribe and stick around for that, then go ahead for it, bro. Leave a comment if you want to, just talk to me about shit. I'll probably make a Discord when I have like at least 10 subscribers, because like what the fuck's the point of making a Discord server with no one in it, you know what I mean? But either way, bro, I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you